Hey there, guys. Happy Hump Day, Wednesday. My light that's normally right here doesn't seem to be working, so I have this big light, and I apologize for the big ring. I know it's normally like over here or something, but hopefully it's not too distracting. Today we're gonna make these fun little things. You guys have been asking about making these. First, we're gonna make bead caps, and then I'm gonna show you how to do the rest of them. So let's get started. This, I'm just using, you can, for the bead caps, do whatever you want. The picture that I've decided to put inside of here, this is some paper that I had bought. There's really cool papers. I'll put a link to it, like the vintagey looking, like newsprint and that kind of thing that you can purchase. Like I said, I'll put a link to that in the description. Excuse me. If you want those, this is one of my jelly prints. So I decided that I'm going to do that for the pendant that I'm going to make. So to match that, I'm going to use these mica powders. I could do something more exciting, but just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do these. Just to show you how to make the bead caps. You don't have to use clay bead caps. You can use, if you have any flat beads, you know, some round flat beads or regular silver bead caps. You can use those, and I was gonna pull some out, but I'll do that afterwards. I have made some of these. These are kind of big, not for this one actually, but so you kind of get the idea of what we're gonna do today. So I have two different kind of cutters. Flower cutter. These are made with a flower cutter. And then just round. You need to make sure, I'm going to give away the secret now, it is not a glass tube that you're working with. This is vinyl tubing. So this is like aquarium tubing, or just, they call it PVC tubing. But you need to make sure that it's, whatever you're making is larger than the tube. So this cutter slides over it, as you can see, and it's larger. So I'm actually just going to use this. Excuse me. So I'm going to just dust some of this blue and this green, because that's kind of the colors that are in here. I'm going to be all matchy today. This doesn't fit. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just going to randomly brush this on. I'm not making anything big. I just kind of wanted to just do a little something. I'm going to throw some texture on here. Let's see if I have. I'm not going to mess up like the other day. This one I know is deep, so I'm just going to put this one on. This is a pretty little, just a flower pattern, just to give it a little bit of texture. And press that on there. There we go. Texture. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see. Like I said, it doesn't matter. They can be flat. It's really all in what you want. You can see the texture in there. But for this project, this is what I'm doing. Let me find... Jeez. There it is. You're going to need some dotting tools, or at least something that you can dome over. So let me just cut these out. And I kind of wanted a mixture of both colors, so I'm just going to kind of cut along where the two colors meet, like that. Okay, get these up. I'll shape them up a little bit, make sure the edges are nice. And then I'm also just going to take a little bit, see how it's white on the edge there? And that's kind of going to be what you're going to see most of, if you think about that. So I am just going to take, I'm going to do the, this green, put a little on my finger, and then roll around like this, around the edge, so that the edge picks up the color. You can see now that it's green on the edge all the way around. Okay, good. So I'm going to put this on my little doming tool and then just press that on there so that it domes, because that's what's going to make it a beanie, a bead cap. Looks like a beanie. So just kind of press that around. And then I just kind of use my nail to get up under there. Very gently. You don't want it to lose its shape, because that would defeat the purpose. So you're just kind of gently going around until it pops off. And then you're going to want to smooth some of these edges around off. But then you have a nice little domed cap, if you can see. And then I bake it just like this. So that's the part is down. And then we'll do the same to the other one. Fix up the edges like this. Put a level of this on. Make sure it's all the way around. Okay, and then we're going to dome it. And if you have a texture on the top, don't press down too hard, because then your texture will go away. But just enough so that... But this is also why I roll it out onto a 3, which is thinner than a 2, which is what I normally use. Because if it's too thick, it's going to look too thick and it's not going to look good. So just dome that around and then gently lift it off. And then we'll place that on. It's almost like a contact lens. Make sure that's all nice. And then just bake it up just like that. These could have probably been domed a little more, but I kind of like how they look, so I'm going to leave them like that. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these. I'm going to go put them in the oven, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the tube part. So I'll be right back. Okay, so while those are baking, I'm going to show you how to do the tube part. Like I said, it is vinyl tubing. I'm going to make a pendant, so I'm using this bigger, this is a 1/2 inch tubing. It's 3/8 on the inside, and then 1/2 inch, if you can see that, on the outside. And I'll put a link to where I got this. It's very inexpensive. I also have this thinner one that I use for earrings. You guys may have seen pictures of those on Facebook or Instagram. So all you're gonna do is cut, your desired length of how big you want your pendant. So just cut straight across. Regular scissors are fine. The only thing is, this one's a little bent, but that's okay. The top here is a little wonky, so I will fix that a little bit. Boom. I think that's a little better. And if it's a little bent, just kind of try to work it so that it's straight again. That looks pretty good. It's still a little bit bent, but it's okay. And then the next thing is I need to cut a straight line here. And then just measure out how big your paper is, which I'm gonna have to go this way. Let me think. That's not even gonna go all the way around. I need to get a new piece. I thought that this would be big enough, but then I just cut that off, and I guess I could have a little bit of white. That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I like this paper, so. So you're just gonna kind of try to guesstimate how much it's gonna take to go around in here. And I say that it's pretty much about 1.5 inches. So this should be good. But it is live video, so you never know. So then all I do is I take a paintbrush and I roll it around. And I didn't leave any white, I just realized, so now there's just gonna be a gap, but that's okay. But just kind of roll it around as best you can and then slide it in there like so. And then it'll expand, and that is way too short. See? That's what happens. Now I can't get it out. Huh. There we go. I wonder if that's wide enough. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll just cut it this way to make it the right size. So just line it up like so, and then cut off. Is how you would normally do it if I had followed my own directions. That's what makes life exciting. So we're just going to roll this around. Shove that in there, and there you go. And then it looks like it's sitting behind glass. Like this. You guys can see that. Okay. So when the bead caps come out and everything, I'll show you how to do the rest, but they are currently baking, so I will be back momentarily. I'm back again. So I forgot I wanted to show you guys, I want to make a little dangle to hang at the bottom, just with some gemstones and a little silver, just to have it hanging on the bottom. So I wanted to show you how to do that. I have 20 gauge wire that I will put a link to. I cut off about 5 or 6 inches. You don't need all of that, but that's inexpensive enough that if you throw a little bit away, that's okay. It's not sterling silver, but it's great because it does not tarnish, and it's a nice, pretty, bright silver. Like I said, it doesn't tarnish. So I've shown how to make these before, but I just figured I would show you guys again so you don't have to go digging through. About, excuse me, 3/4 of an inch or so down at the end here, just kind of bend around. And then you're going to squash that little thing so that it's like so. You can see that. And then I just kind of grab onto that and take that little piece and bend around. I'm just making my own little head pin here. And just keep going around. I'm going to cut this little nubby off because I don't want it to be too big at the bottom. And then I'm going to smush this all together. Even that little nub at the end. Make sure the end is tucked into somewhere. Okay. So we want like this. Oh, can you see it? Why is it not showing up? Too close, that's why. Okay, so that's how that looks. So I just have these beads. I'm going to put the darker one on the bottom. I did like a blue and a green. And then I have a little spacer. Actually, it's a big spacer. And then another one. I'll put those on. And then I'm going to wrap this so it makes a loop, because it's going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to take my needle nose or round nose or whatever these are called. Put it right up next to the top bead there. Fold it over like so. Then I'm going to turn those and I'm going to fold it over again. Then I'm going to leave those in there and I'm just going to wrap. This is why I like to have a long piece, so that I can just hold this and I can just wrap it around. If you have a short piece, then you're just fighting. You're just fighting with it. So snip it off as close as you can to the end there. And then stick your, the pointy ones in there. Whichever ones are, I don't know if they're neat, because I think these are needle, I don't know. They might just be called jewelry pliers. And then just kind of move those around the rest, that little tail off around the rest of the way, so that it's completely wrapped around. And that's it. Easy, easy. If you want this a little straighter, obviously you can move that around, but there you go. So that's like that. And then that's going to dangle on the bottom of this, just to give it a little interest and movement. So, all right, I will be back as soon as those bead caps are out and we will finish it off. Okay, we're back. So, these are out of the oven and you can see how they look. They could be domed a little bit more, but they're gonna look good. And I love the mica powder because it does not come off. Eventually it might, but I mean, as with any wear and tear, that's gonna happen. You can glaze these if you want. I'm not going to. This is what I use though. Just paint some of that on and let it dry for a few hours. But I'm gonna keep them like this. So when it comes to drilling holes in these, this is how I do this. I find the center. Let me put my glasses on. I find the center before turning it on. I find the center and then I turn it on. And then I just kind of go up and down with it like that. Instead of trying to root around and find it when the thing is already on, this is just a little easier way, I think, to do it. That way you make sure that you actually get the center. That's it. So that's done. So now we're just going to construct this. And this is how I do that. I'm going to use 20 gauge wire and I'm going to cut a piece about 5 or 6 inches. That might be about 7 inches long. And then I'm going to take my, whatever these pliers are, and then at the one end, which is going to be this end, I kind of cheat. I don't do a whole wrap with this, and I like it a little bit larger. And remember, I'm also going to be putting this on the bottom, so I want to put this on. I'll make it just part of a loop, and then I'll put this on. And get back in there, and then I'm going to loop I normally use my mirror, my magnifying thing for this. So just keep looping around. This is going to look terrible, you guys, because I don't have my mirror. I do it 2 full rotations. And then when you get to that point, just bend it up so that it's going to be kind of in the center, and that doesn't look so great, but it'll do. I'm used to using my magnifying mirror, and I'm having difficulty seeing, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. All right, that's going to be good enough for now. So then we have that, and then we're going to put our bottom bead cap on, make sure it's facing the correct direction, and then we're going to put this on, and you'll see that this kind of moves around a lot, and if you don't do anything, then this is going to be off center all the time because it just has a lot of motion. So I have these beads, and these are inexpensive, so it's okay to have them where you're not even seeing them. But I take these beads and I just string them so that they're down the middle, and they give that some stability down through the middle. Because if you don't, it's just going to be wobbly and all over the place. So this just keeps it so that it's nice and sturdy through the middle. These are inexpensive. I'll put a link to them. So just put them all the way down. To keep it stable. It also gives it a little bit of heaviness. I know that I like a little bit of weight with my pendants. It makes it feels like you're wearing something. So there's that. So all the way down the center now are these little beads, and this isn't going to move around at all. So you're good. Just a little trick. And then put your cap on top, like so. So it's going to be like this. And that bottom piece could be a little better, but that's how it's going to be, I suppose. Okay, so now the top, if you wanted to put like another little silver bead, I'll do that. I'll put a little silver bead on top. Give it a little finished look. These little silver beads are good. They're inexpensive, and they also don't tarnish or anything, so they will look nice for a long, long time. So we're going to kind of do the same thing that we did with this. We're going to put our, whatever these pliers are called, on top. I know you guys will tell me in the comments, and that's great. Then I can use the right word. And then turn a little bit, turn that over to there. And I'm just going to move it. And then you just want to twist, but you really want to make sure that you're tightening down on that bead, because then that's going to make this tighter and stay together better. So just really crank down on it so that all of the pieces are really tight together. kind of like just screwing it on there. And snip it. And then go back in there. I can't even see you guys. There we go. Get back in there and then tighten that around. And there you go. There you go. That's how that looks, guys. Finished. Little pendant. Not a little pendant. It's a big pendant. But you can see the little scroll inside. And it looks like a cool little glass tube. So, there you go. Let's see, housekeeping. I don't think I have much today. Just join the Happy Place Studio Facebook group. All of the things that I used, I will put in the description. That does help me because I do get a tiny little bit of commission from Amazon with that stuff. Tiny, very tiny. And I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great day. You will probably see me tomorrow. I have just a short one I think I'm going to do tomorrow. So have a great day. Bye.